This episode is brought to you by the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge. We believe that when you purchase from a small online or offline business, your dollar goes further. Hey friends, Minna and I created the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge, and we're inviting you to take it with us. It's a commitment to make 1 in 5 of your purchases from a small business, online or offline. It's a way to make an impact together where and when it matters most. Because the truth is, your purchasing power matters now more than ever. Head to shop1in5.com to take the pledge. Make that commitment to shop 1 in 5 of your purchases towards a small business. We also invite you to shop the directory if you don't know where to find other small businesses. It's right there on the page. And we're asking for you to share the pledge. Imagine if each of us told 3 to 4 people about the Shop 1 in 5 pledge. It would be an incredible and life-changing for so many small businesses. Tell your friends, your family, and your social network. It costs nothing extra and makes a world of difference. Our purchases have the ability to change lives. Okay, let's jump in.
Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Minna Kumlo-Sitep, an Amazon guru that has built a multi-6-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together.
Hey, product bosses. Did you know that every Wednesday we have a live talk show called Bosses and Breakfast where we chat business, mindset, mom life, and everything in between? It's a really fun time and it feels like a conversation amongst friends. In fact, sometimes we have conversations that we don't necessarily know that they're going to lead to where they lead, but we get such an amazing reaction from our listeners and from our community and from our students that we actually wanted to bring it to you to hear today.
Yes, our favorite thing about Bosses and Breakfast is that we get together, we get to laugh, we get to be inspired about what's happening, and we get to check in with you and re-motivate you on why you're working so hard. So join us next time. We'd love to see you there. And here's that snippet from one of our shows that got tons of positive response, where we all walked away feeling more inspired and motivated for the week. So let's jump in. Jacqueline and I, when we have a public relations team, and they're like, send your stuff with the things that you do with your kids, because they saw my story of the kids helping me with the business. And so we're kind of talking about like how we're teaching the children. And Jacqueline's like, the children. And Jacqueline's like, I teach my kids about, like, she's taught them how to do lemonade stands and the idea of entrepreneurship. I'm very much the opposite of that. I never expected myself to be an entrepreneur. I would say I never was born an entrepreneur. It was asking, have you always been an entrepreneur? No, I didn't even identify with that word until, I always thought of myself as maybe a entrepreneur, a freelancer and a business owner, but never an entrepreneur, until I created Little Labels. And that was, like 5 years ago. And so it took me, even though I've been an entrepreneur, quote unquote, for, 15 years, that whole decade, I never used that word of being an entrepreneur. So
I didn't know that.
So I'm curious if you all have always felt like you were an entrepreneur growing up. Were you an entrepreneur? Do you feel like, it was nature versus nurture? Because for me, it was very much nurture. I think that I surround myself with different people. I feel like even with Jacqueline and myself, like I feel like entrepreneurs have like a risk tolerance, right? And when we're surrounded by each other and we surround each other with other people, we kind of lift it gets higher and higher. This risk tolerance of what should we try? How big should we dream? All these things. I definitely, with my own children, the reason why I love now saying I'm an entrepreneur is because, even though it was nurture for me, I kind of developed into being an entrepreneur. I want to leave a different legacy for them. Right. I want them to feel like that's an option for them. For me, growing up, it was very much go to school, be a Be or marry a lawyer. Be
Was it
or
B?
marry
Did they want
a
you to be one?
doctor. They wanted
Or
me
was
to be
it they
very
prefer the
skillful.
married?
Either one, to
Okay,
be
okay.
honest. But in practice, probably it would have been two doctors married to each other,
Okay,
and
good.
I would also be taking care of the children.
True.
So that's probably like what they imagine.
She's a doctor on the side, but she's mainly a mom.
Yeah, right. Doctor of my own making,
I
right?
remember seeing this meme saying like be the CEO your parents always wanted you to marry. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So my mom, so it was just Lunar New Year, right? My youngest sister, she's 30 and she's not married, right? And my mom every time is like, please, like she prays for blessings. Every time it's like, please give Skylar a good husband. Please give Skylar, make sure she's
Your
married
sister's
this
over here
year.
says,
Yeah. No. So then Skylar says, Mom, I'm going to be the CEO you've always wanted me to marry. Okay. My mom looks at her and was like, what? Like, you're not making any sense. Like, the words didn't even make sense to her.
what is the CEO that you're talking about?
And marrying you?
Does it
Like,
just
what is
stand for
wrong with you?
caring extra for other children and children? I don't know.
We just died laughing. It was like the funniest moment.
For me, funny enough, well, like my parents were super strict. Mina and I are both first generation Americans, so good luck. And then I was
Good
the
luck
oldest.
with. Yeah.
And like the type of like background, girls were needing to be watched over and taken care of and extra strict. So anyways, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup when I was younger,
Mhm.
but I had face paint. Okay, a couple things. We're going to go down the Jacqueline rabbit hole. So one of my first companies was called Jackie's Wacky Faces. Goes to
I
face
love it.
paint because
Still trademarked, by the way. No,
yes,
just
don't
kidding.
nobody try and take that name. I don't even call myself Jackie, but it rhymed. So my sister's 9.5 years younger than me. And so when I would think I was probably like, I think it was her first birthday. So 10.5, or a couple years into it, I had face paints probably for Halloween. And then I would paint her face and I painted the kids' faces at the birthday party. And then her friends' parents started hiring me. So I went and I remember they were like orange
How
business
old were you,
cards,
though?
about probably 11.
11. Oh,
10,
wow.
11, yeah.
Super
And
young.
I had orange business cards that I made because remember it was like on Word or I don't know where you could like use the icon. So I swear to God, I had like a clown face on it, like a creepy clown. And then it was black, like raised
Like,
lettering.
clowns were in.
Well, I was a face painter. So
Yeah, yeah.
so it was Jackie's Wacky Faces. And then because my parents were so strict, so going back from that story, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup and kids started wearing makeup to school kind of like in middle school. And I was so jealous. So
Mhm.
genius over here. I went to Michael's and bought little like those little plastic jewel containers. They were the colored plastic square tiny containers. And then we had a
Uh-huh.
ton of Vaseline at our house. And I would take the face paint and I'd mix it with the Vaseline. I'd make lip gloss. And so I started making lip gloss and using that. And then I would even take the black and make mascara. So this is me like
Oh,
trying to go to
nice.
school with face paint. And then I was like, I can make lip gloss. I should try and sell this to my friends. So then I started selling my friends like lip glosses in little jewel containers.
Mhm.
So that was probably my first two businesses. And then after that, I was hired because I also, as an artist, like I was hired, I painted remember we used to paint our ceilings like, well, I don't know, clouds and
No,
suns and moons were
we
in. You
did
didn't
no
do it.
sort of thing.
So I painted my bathroom like half sun, half moon, like half day and half night. And then my friend's mom was like, "Oh, that's so amazing! I want to paint clouds on my daughter's ceiling." So then I started painting people's kids' bedrooms. So that was all probably between 10 and probably until I was driving, and then I was like, "I'm out." No, I got
Yeah,
a job at that point. But yeah, so I think I was always entrepreneurial because I was more of just like, if you want something, then you can figure out how to make it. So I think
yeah,
that's what I did. And then because I could make it, I was like, "Ooh, I should sell it." So that's my entrepreneurial spirit. But I
yeah,
did not I went to college and I was like, I'm going to be a lawyer or, I don't know what I was going to be at that point. I think when I went to school and I was thinking of being a lawyer, then I realized I wanted to go to art, but, it was never entrepreneurial. It
yeah.
was like the way
Mhm.
I think when you and I were growing up, it was like you go to college, you get your degree, you go get a
Yeah,
job.
right. I
So
never thought you could make money, to be honest. Like, I never understood. I don't even teach it to my children, which I probably should. Because like,
wait, you
here's
don't teach
another
your kids
question.
what?
I don't teach them how to make money.
Oh,
It's
I threaten
like
it. I'm
you
like, you
teach
want that?
them.
You better go work for it.
I teach them that they get money for different things and they save it. Like they have a savings account and they can see it and all that stuff. But the idea of making money, I don't actually teach it to them. Like a lemonade stand, like you earn it or whatever. They do hair plays for when they want to earn apps on their iPads. Like they'll play with my hair for like 30 minutes or whatever, and they can do $1.99. My husband thinks that I'm ridiculous for how much I allow. But that's kind of like the earning thing, but
But
it's
you really
fun.
want your hair played with.
Yeah, exactly.
All the apps.
And so, but I think growing up, we never were taught to talk to people, right? So I think a lot of it is we were very scared. So the idea of selling something to somebody, you just never did, you know? Even negotiations, I'm horrible at it because I've never negotiated anything in my life. It would be like, don't sell that to somebody. They'll think you're poisoning them and then they'll kidnap you. It's like that, like you're this little Asian girl, these little Asian girls in, a small town in Iowa. Literally, you laugh, but that's literally the words
I
we
know.
would
I
hear
am laughing
over and
because
over.
parents are awesome. I'm sure I've started my kids' things.
Yeah. And so I don't actually teach that to my girls, though I could, right? I could do the lemonade stand. So I'm wondering, do you instill in your kids this entrepreneurial idea, how to make money?
Well, friends, I hope you had as much fun as we did. If you want to hang out with us live, join us every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern over at our Facebook page or Instagram.
And if you want to hear the whole show, click on the link in our show notes and we'll see you over there.
This episode is brought to you by the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge. We believe that when you purchase from a small online or offline business, your dollar goes further. Hey friends, Minna and I created the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge, and we're inviting you to take the pledge with us. It's a commitment to make 1 in 5 of your purchases from a small business, online or offline. It's a way to make an impact together where and when it matters most. Because the truth is, your purchasing power matters now more than ever. We're inviting you to take the pledge if you head to shop1in5.com. The link is in the show notes. And when you get there, please make sure to share the pledge with your friends, your family, and your customers. Let's invite everyone to take the Shop 1 in 5 pledge so that we can all use our purchasing power to change lives.